How's it going, everyone? Mr. Boulder here. Hoping you're all well. Back today with episode 2 of Retrospective Reviews. And today I'm going to be talking about probably one of the most controversial albums in the history of metal, as far as I'm concerned, anyway. I'm going to be talking about Celtic Frost's 1988 album Cold Lake. Now, I'm sure many of you know who Celtic Frost are and will know about this album, but for those of you who don't, Celtic Frost, for me, definitely were one of the pioneers of extreme metal here in Europe. Over in the States, obviously, you had Death, and you can make an argument for Possessed, of course, because Jeff Becerra's vocals on Seven Churches were definitely leaning towards the more extreme type of things. But over here in Europe, in the early 80s, obviously, we had Venom from here in the northeast of England. And over in Central Europe, you had Celtic Frost, definitely the pioneers of extreme metal as far as I'm concerned. Or one of them, anyway, definitely. But a lot of people left scratching their heads in bemusement completely when they released their album Cold Lake in 1988. Like I say, these guys were big time into sort of doomy sounding albums. Kind of, you could say, the start of death metal. And in 1988, they put out an album that was basically a glam metal album, and a lot of people were not happy. I've heard rumours, and I don't know whether this is true or not, because I read it on the internet, and of course you shouldn't read everything you believe, but apparently if you take a copy of this album up to Tom G. Warrior after gigs, he refuses to sign it. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But yeah, that is something I did read not long ago. So I'm going to be taking a look at this album in this video, so let's get into it. As always, quick sip of coffee before we start. So here it is, Celtic Frost's Cold Lake, released in 1988. Love this album cover, it's really, really good. The back, though, not quite so much. I mean, what the hell is this guy doing here? Even though it's the 80s, that's quite a look, it has to be said. So yeah, Tom G. Warrior, the only original member on this. The other guys are all new into the band as far as I'm aware. Musical performances, everything here is okay. Nothing really stands out, apart from the riffs of Tom G. Warrior. So even though this is a complete 180 in terms of the style, from the sort of doomy sort of start of death metal to going glam metal, Tom G's riffs are still really, really good. You can tell it's him. The riffs are great. The rest of the musicianship on this is fine. Nothing really outstanding. So let's get into it. I mean, the very first thing on this, the intro, which is called Human, is absolutely pointless. There's absolutely no need for it to be on this whatsoever. It brings absolutely nothing to proceedings. It's a complete waste of time and a minute of your life that you'll never get back as far as I'm concerned. And then we'll go straight into the next proper song, which is Seduce Me Tonight. Brilliant guitar riff. Very, very hooky, catchy chorus. Good song, really enjoy that one. Petty Obsession next. Again, a catchy chorus, a good riff, a good song. I really enjoy that one. Up next, you got Once They Were Eagles, which is fine. And then Cherry Orchards, which was the one I made a video for. Really good song. Again, it's got another great riff. The chorus has definitely got a hook to it. These choruses on a lot of these songs really sink into your memory. They're easy to remember. Definite earworms. And then you've got Juices Like Wine that finishes side A, which is another really good song with another chorus that sticks out in your head. The riffs are good. Solos are pretty good. So that's my brief take on side A. For me, this is pretty good so far. Let's get to side B now. Little Velvet kicks off side B, which is an okay song. And then you've got Blood on Kisses, which is another good song. It's okay, I should say, not good. It's okay. I can live with it. It doesn't really sort of stick out in the memory too much. But then next you've got Downtown Hanoi, which is a really good track. Again, it's another catchy chorus. It's another good guitar riff. This is Tom G we're talking about, so he knows how to write a good riff. And it's another good song. Then you've got Dance Sleazy, which is one of my favourites on the album. Again, another really, really good, strong chorus that hooks you in. Nice solo on that. good vocal harmony, good vocal patterns, I should just say, in the chorus that really hook you in. And then it closes with Roses Without Thorns, which is a decent song, but not one that really sticks out in the memory too much. So that's my brief sort of overlook of the songs on this album, on this vinyl copy anyway. And on the CD, there's a couple of bonus tracks. So here's my OG CD from 1988. And a couple of bonus tracks on this are Tease Me, which is a good song, really good. Again, very catchy, very hooky, very melodic, brings you in, easy to remember, great track. And then the second bonus track is a new recording of Mexican Radio, which of course was the first song on 1987's Into the Pandemonium. And whereas there's nothing wrong with it, for me it's completely pointless, doesn't bring anything to proceedings. It's pretty much, they've done it exactly the same way pretty much as it's done on Into the Pandemonium. Although someone's come up with the idea of, I've got an idea, let's put some really shit sounding fake crowd noise and just sort of litter it sporadically over the song. Brings absolutely nothing to proceedings. It doesn't need to be on here. It's completely pointless, a bit like the intro for me, really. Yeah, it's just, there's no need for it. There's other stuff in it which is much better as far as I'm concerned, and I'd rather hear the original version on Into the Pandemonium. So then, this album, what's my opinion of it? I like it. It's by no means a classic. It's by no means essential. But I really like it. I mean, part of this might be something to do with the fact that when I came to discover my very first bands on my own, this is kind of like the mid to late 80s. So the bands that I first got into, that I first discovered, were bands like Bon Jovi and Def Leppard. I mean, Bon Jovi and Def Leppard were absolutely huge when I first started discovering my own bands. White Snake as well. So I was raised on a diet of glam metal. It was absolutely everywhere back in the mid to late 80s. Everyone knows that. So that might be why I had more time for this album than some other people, because I like glam metal. So I listened to this album and I hear all the absolute slating that it's had over the years. And I listen to it and think, I don't think it's that bad. I mean, if I was to rate this out of 10, I'm probably going for a 6. Like I say, it's by no means a classic. But for me, it's by no means a piece of shit either. However, I do acknowledge the fact that if you were with Frost from the very start and you heard this album, you must have been just thinking, what in the hell are they doing? A complete 180 turn, like I say, going from the really, really heavy stuff to just basically sounding like Poison or Warrant in the space of Into the Pandemonium to this album. Just a complete change in direction. And for me, one of the most baffling musical direction changes, I think, ever in the history of metal, if not the most baffling. I don't understand how they went from what they were doing to this. It's just the complete opposite of what they were doing before. So if you were with them right from the start and loved all the stuff, the first albums and the Hellhammer stuff, of course, because Celtic Frost were Hellhammer before, I can understand why you've got absolutely no time for this record at all. For me, though, yeah, I really don't mind it. And, you know, it's a decent album if you take it for what it is. It's a glam metal album. But I can completely understand those who hated it from the off if you're into the stuff from the early days. I mean, I won't lie. When I listen to stuff like Dance Sleazy, Cherry Orchards, what are the other ones? Seduce Me Tonight and Petty Obsession, I find it very strange to find that this is the exact same guy who just a few years earlier was singing on these superb tracks like Circle of the Tyrants, Procreation of the Wicked, Into the Crypt of Rage. To think this is the same guy is almost unbelievable, to be honest. So yeah, my opinion of Celtic Frost, Cold Lake, I should say. Yeah, I like it. I think it's okay. I like glam metal, so I like this album. If you're into glam, you've never heard this because you know of the band for being really heavy. This is definitely worth checking out. If you're into your really heavy stuff, I don't recommend you check this out because you'll probably dislike it massively. So yeah, like I say, I can see why it's disliked by some, but I really like this. It's a decent album. It doesn't blow you away, but it's certainly not a pile of shit like I've been led to believe over the years. So yeah, that's my opinion on Celtic Frost's Cold Lake from 1988. A very, very controversial album. Not as bad as it's made out to be as far as I'm concerned. But I can definitely understand why the old school fans dislike it. Right guys, that's it for this episode. Nice quick video. Don't want to go on too long on these videos. let me know what you think about this album. Get in the comments section. Let me know if you think it's a good album. And let me know if you think it's an absolute pile of crap. Hit the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I'll catch up with you on the weekend when I'm ranking the death metal debuts from the Floridian Big Four of death metal. Catch you later. Cheers. Bye.